the greater achievement of American Revolution. I mean, it is one big achievement to defeat Britain and declare your independence. That's remarkable in itself. But from the world perspective, what is more relevant is the kind of polity they created and successfully have been running till this date. And that is why it is a very seminal event in the history of the world. We are going to now try to understand the context, the course, and the consequences of the American Revolution. Okay? Chaliye, let's start our discussion. The American Revolution is based on a very famous document called as the Declaration of Independence that was adopted on the 4th of July 1776. This Declaration of Independence is like a submission that the American people were making before the rest of the world. पूरी दुनिया के सामने वो अपनी बात को डंके की चोट पे रख रहे थे. Before this revolution, it had never happened that colonies had taken such an extreme step. And whenever something new happens, it is always seen as, wrong or illegal and whatnot. Therefore, it was likely that the world would have seen the American Revolution as an illegal act against motherland. So the American people kind of felt compelled that they must be able to put their position before the whole world, before posterity, before human history. So this document makes a case. It gives the argument why the American people are doing what they are doing. It's a very beautiful document that has helped, that has shaped human history, political history ever since. And in this document, there is a very famous quote which encapsulates, which captures the real spirit of this revolution. क्यों Americans ये कर रहे हैं? What is their real motivation behind it? Is very beautifully addressed in this particular quote. What does the quote say? It reads like this: all men are created equal. I want you to by heart this quote. Okay? All men are created equal. That they are endowed by their creator. They are endowed by their creator with certain inalienable rights. That they are endowed by their creator with certain inalienable rights. And among these are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. दोस्तों, इस कोट के रेवोल्यूशनरी ज़ील को समझने के लिए, to understand the real revolutionary zeal of this quote, we have to locate it in the context in which it was set. Okay? We are talking about a period where in the rest of the world you had concept of absolute monarchy. सही है? Yes, Britain had constitutional monarchy, but that was more of an exception. Rest everywhere you had different forms of absolute monarchy. So all power was in the hands of whom? The king. There was no institution to protect the common man, no rule of law. Below this absolute monarchy, you had a privileged aristocracy and clergy. Means those people who were the rich elite, the feudal elite of the society, by birth, just because they were born in a certain family, they were by birth and for lifetime given some privileges. The same was the case with the religious elite, the clergy. Whereas the huge majority of people, the common masses lived a wretched life. हिंदी मराठी में जिसको हम बोलते हैं ना कि जानवरों की सी जिंदगी ये कॉमन मासेस की थी. Their life, their honor, their respect, dignity, everything could be trampled upon by the monarch or by these elites. So it was that kind of a dark period. In such an age, the American people stand up and they say that this system we are not going to tolerate anymore. And instead, we believe in the idea that, and now read this, all men are created equal. ये inequality नहीं चलेगी. All men are created equal. And they are endowed by whom? By their creator. Not any constitution, not any parliament, not any religious authority, right? Directly the creator has given some inalienable rights which you cannot take away. पहले राजा ने डिसाइड कर दिया इसको फांसी दे दो, दे दी फांसी. रूसो को जेल में डाल दिया. There was this jail in Paris called as the Bastille, very infamous jail. So political thinkers used to be put in that jail and many died over there. Nobody would question, nobody would ask. अभी आपने सीरिया में जो कुछ हुआ है देखा है recent times में? In Syria there was a prison called as Sednaya near the capital. Several thousand people have, it is said, were sent to this prison and nothing was ever heard about them. The worst forms of torture were committed on these people. And the ruler, Bashar al-Assad, there was no authority that could question him. Luckily for the people, that dictator was toppled. That's why all of this came out. Otherwise, and it was going on for decades. For decades, this exploitation was going on. आज भी ऐसी dictatorships हैं. And this was the standard, this was the norm during that time when the American Revolution is taking place. So the American people say that you can't do this to people, fellow human beings. They're not animals. They have certain rights like life, liberty. किसी की भी जिंदगी ले लोगे तुम. Nobody questions you. No. You'll put somebody in jail. No. Liberty है. And he has the right for pursuit of happiness. He must be able to live his life to the fullest. हमारे यहाँ कास्ट सिस्टम थी. And caste system dictated what work you will do. If you did not follow that work, then you were ostracized, you were punished. होता था कि नहीं होता था ये? American Revolution कह रहा है every man has the right of pursuit to happiness. Means what? He has the right to live his life to the fullest the way he or she wants it. Okay? This is the revolutionary idea. You get this? Not only do they declare it, they also go about to establish a state which will ensure it. And that's why American Revolution is important. Got this point now? Do you understand it? Okay. What is the American Revolution? We always try to define the key concept first. Like we took some time to define what is Industrial Revolution. So on similar lines, when we say that American Revolution is a significant event, then what is meant by the American Revolution? American Revolution is the war of liberation that was fought by 13 colonies of North America, Britain's colonies, through which they severed, tod diya, kaat diya, severed their ties with motherland Britain. And this gave birth to the powerful nation of United States of America. So can you tell me what is American Revolution to begin with? It is a war of liberation fought by, can I hear louder? आप भी थोड़ी, आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही. Yes, 13 colonies of North America through which they severed ties with Britain and created a new independent country called as United States of America. This revolution and the state that they created was based on the thoughts of Enlightenment. Enlightenment याद है आपको? I had told you यूरोप के अंदर में देखिए सीक्वेंस था, रेनेसॉन्स, यूरोपियंस रिकनेक्टेड विद देयर पास्ट, रीबर्थ कहते हैं इसको. इसमें से क्या हुआ? रीजन, विवेक, रैशनैलिटी एनहेंस हुई. आउट ऑफ दैट केम साइंटिफिक रेवोल्यूशन. ठीक है, साइंटिफिक रेवोल्यूशन में क्या हुआ? साइंटिस्ट गेव यूनिवर्सल लॉज. न्यूटन याद रखें, द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट साइंटिस्ट वाज न्यूटन. न्यूटन गेव 3 universal laws of motion. So inspired by this scientific revolution, जो कि आप ये कह सकते हैं कि 15th 16th century का प्रोडक्ट है. Later on, experts of other field, political scientists, they felt that if our fellow, intellectuals like scientists can contribute so massively, we should also make some contribution in our field. तो हम क्या करेंगे? We will also give some universal laws, concepts, constructs, ideas which will lead to betterment of mankind. And this gave birth to a period or movement that is called as Enlightenment. 17th, 18th century is the period of Enlightenment. Enlightenment में क्या आया? New political ideas आए. ठीक है, साइंस ने उस वक्त के सुपरस्टिशन पर हमला किया, उस वक्त के उस अंधकार पे हमला किया. एनलाइटनमेंट क्या करता है? एनलाइटनमेंट उस वक्त के पॉलिटिकल अंधकार पे हमला करता है. व्हाट वाज द पॉलिटिकल डार्कनेस एट दैट टाइम? एब्सोल्यूट मोनार्की, प्रिविलेज्ड क्लासेस, एक्सप्लॉयटेशन ऑफ पीपल. एनलाइटनमेंट उस पे हमला करता है. और एनलाइटनमेंट क्या देता है? नए आइडियाज देता है. और प्राइमरीली ये सभी आइडियाज को अगर हम एनकैप्सुलेट करें सिंगल इसमें, तो क्या है? इट्स अबाउट इंडिविजुअल्स राइट्स एंड फ्रीडम्स, लिबरलिज्म बेसिकली. दैट इज द प्रोडक्ट ऑफ एनलाइटनमेंट. डू यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस? ठीक है, सो इससे इंस्पायर्ड थे अमेरिकन पीपल. गॉट दिस? ठीक है, सो सॉवरेंटी ऑफ पीपल. सॉवरेंटी इज नॉट विद द क्राउन. मेरा वचन ही है शासन, नहीं चलेगा. Sovereignty should lie with people. Separation of church and state, individual liberty, ये सारे क्या हैं? These are all ideas that are coming out of enlightenment, so that human life becomes better. किसी एक के हाथ पे सारी पावर हो, इससे बेटर है ना कि पावर जो है वो सभी के पास शेयर्ड होनी चाहिए. चर्च और स्टेट अगर फ्यूज होगा, then you will have exploitation in the name of religion. So we need to separate church and state, secularism. Okay? Every person must have fullest right to express himself, right? Individual rights and freedoms. तो ये सारे ideas कहाँ से आए? Enlightenment. I hope you will never forget the sequence now. Clear everyone? Renaissance, scientific revolution, enlightenment. ठीक है, इसके बीच में एक और स्टेप आता है, लेकिन यहां since it was not that relevant, so I have not mentioned it. एक और ध्यान में रखिएगा, रेनेसां के साथ में आता है रिफॉर्मेशन. रिफॉर्मेशन क्या है? रिफॉर्मेशन, रिफॉर्मेशन इज अ पीरियड वेयर जो रोमन कैथोलिक चर्च की एक्सेसेस थी उसके खिलाफ में आवाज उठी. पीपल लाइक मार्टिन लूथर, कैल्विन, many other such people, they spoke out against the exploitation of masses in the name of religion. रिलीजन के नाम पर जो है यूरोप के अंदर में चर्च से एसोसिएटेड लोगों ने बहुत अत्याचार किए. I'll just give you 1 or 2 examples so that कभी आपको एग्जाम्पल देना पड़े तो आपके काम आएगा. एक एग्जाम्पल जो आप उसमें दे सकते हैं वो है लेटर ऑफ इन्वेस्टिट्यूचर. सॉरी, मैंने गलत हुई किया उसको. लेटर ऑफ इंडल्जेंसेस, आई एम सॉरी. क्या था ये लेटर ऑफ इंडल्जेंसेस का कॉन्सेप्ट? चर्च इतना करप्ट हो चुका था मॉरली कि वो इन लेटर ऑफ इंडल्जेंसेस को लोगों को बेच रहा था. मान लीजिए यू हैव डन सम, जिसको हम कहेंगे पाप आपने किया है, आपने कोई क्राइम किया है, कुछ गलत चीज आपने की है, and now naturally you will be held accountable as per religious beliefs and philosophy. But if you want to avoid that punishment from God, then what you need to do is you have to buy that letter of indulgence from the church. So you pay that money and church gives you a document which says that okay, the evil that you have committed has been pardoned. So a business was made out of this. Okay, inquisitions. Remember this one also. Inquisitions क्या थी? These were kangaroo courts. Kangaroo courts means, arbitrary courts where people were tried on the charges of having violated their religious conduct. And randomly punishments were given to people. Very harsh punishments were given. Inquisitions के अंदर में. 2. तीसरा, confessions. What is meant by confessions? People had to go to the priests in the church regularly and tell the priest what evil things they have done, what wrong things they have done according to religion. The priest will then pray for their forgiveness. Okay? Pray that they will be forgiven. That was called as confessions. Now, what somebody does, as long as if I affect your well-being, then it's a crime. But if I do something wrong which does not affect anybody, it is not affecting anybody. That is not crime, that is a sin. Okay? And sin is between the individual and God. Right? It is up to God because it's not affecting you. Na? If it is affecting you, then I am a criminal. Otherwise, it's just a sin. Now that sin is between individual and God, but church brought this system of the priest between individual and God. You have to confess to the priest. You have to tell him regularly that you have done this evil sin. And then, he will pray for you. These were all different types of excesses that were being committed by the church. Okay? To change this, the movement of reformation was started in Christianity. Within Christianity, people stood up to show how these systems do not have any base in the religion and these are just to perpetuate the control and luxury of the priestly class. Do you understand this? Renaissance, Reformation, Scientific Revolution, Enlightenment. And then Enlightenment leads to American Revolution, French Revolution, and many other developments. Clear? Okay? So can you tell me what is meant by the American Revolution?